This is a difficult choice. Which to choose? Which? Yes, I think I'll take this one. Okay. I'll lay down the ace. It's your turn now. Well, it's a big pack of cards, this, isn't it? That's how I came across a great friend of mine, Ray Basquet, all those years ago. 40 years it was since I first met him. And I've got a whole deck of them here, and they are, in my collection of cards, by far the biggest cards I've ever come across. They are enormous. Each card is actually quite thick. It's got it's not paper at all. It's a good quality cardboard. Look what they're laid out there. Spades and hearts and clubs and all the lot. Where's the diamonds? Somewhere's diamonds. Oh, there's a joker there. Look at that. I like that joker. But each card is enormous. You could build a card castle with these, a card tower, Leaning Tower Pisa. So that's biggest I've ever come across, I think. I think I've come across a memory of some artisan who made them even bigger than that, but that's big enough for me. It just about fits in my case as well. By contrast, I've also put aside the smallest set, which is even smaller than that, because those have got two sets of the cards in, and these are really titchy, absolutely tiny, and they look like this when they're inside. Look at this, absolutely minute. Very sweet little backs to them as well. Very, very small card, and about 1/100th or 50th of these. I must count it up sometime and work out how many would fit on there. So, from the smallest deck of cards to the biggest deck of cards, and all the others lie in between. But of course, I don't just collect for sizes, I'm collecting for other oddities. This is a very early one of an extraordinary set of cards from Japan, and it was, oh goodness me, I don't know how long. They're all 10-pin bowling shapes. They are all 10-pin bowling. There's the joker. And what do they look like? So you could actually put them in a nice, quite open mould. You can read them very clearly, but what a lovely shape they are. How pretty. Very elegant set of cards. Never had a game of serious bridge with them. You wouldn't. You'd have a game of snap with small kids or something probably with them. Get them all tangled up. But a lovely deck of cards, all shaped like 10-pin bowling from the Japanese source. What a piece. A slightly more modest version, but I think it was the first time I come across another shape than an ordinary oblong shape with this deck of cards, which are very subtle because it's not obvious until you glance at them carefully that they are actually rounded, slightly barrel shaped. The cards themselves look quite normal, but they're all very slightly rounded, which actually makes them, sort of going towards the deck of circular cards, easier to gather together and make into a nice tidy pile because of the curved size there. They're a little bit easier to handle in that way. And yet they're a perfectly functional deck of playing cards. Then there's a lovely deck of cards for kids. This is tremendous fun. For small children, they love this sort of thing. It's a deck of cards in which they have lots and lots of things that children are supposed to do. You pick a card and then you're told to, what does this say? Jump like a kangaroo, that's what it says. So the child, you know, this is for 3-year-olds playing cards. You can have a game of snap or something, but then they've got to pick up a card and they've got to do what it says. Act like a dog. Act like a dog. Ace hasn't got anything, nor the two, and nor the court cards got anything on them. The court cards are quite genuine, there's nothing on the court card, Ace, King, Queen. And the 10's not so, but it's a 9 and so on downwards. This one is behave like a pig. So lots and lots of things for kids to act and play the fool with in between games of snap or something. Lovely deck of cards, a very, very sweet idea for a certain age of children when they like play acting a lot. And that one is a perfect one because there's about, there's not 52 of the different ones, but there's probably about 30 or 35 actual little action, a bit of pantomiming they've got to do to when it's their turn. Then there's a deck of cards from Holland, which is very interesting. It's not a deck of cards actually. They are card forms, but you can play snaps with them apparently, or you can play Beggar Neighbour. They're actually little bits of music. So the idea is if it's Beggar Neighbour, you don't ask for a release. You whistle a tune, or if you've got a piano nearby, you play the tune if you're very musical and say that's the card I want from you. You know. So, and you've got a lot of composers with little snatches of music, and for people who are learning music, it's a lovely way of introducing them to card games and musical education too. So a very, very nice idea this. I must show it to my friends of my choir, my chamber choir that I belong to, and see if they like the idea of having a deck of cards all dedicated to musical education. And the last set is called the House of Cards. Extraordinary idea. It's actually 2 decks of cards in here for patience and other things. And as you see from the picture, they are slotted. Every one of them has got a slot in it. But there's more to that. This is not for making a house of cards, it's actually for making a village of cards. You can make 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's another one here which I'll get out in a second. And each of these cards, there's 2 decks, has got slots in them. Here's the first one, the king, but there's a slot there, there's a slot there. So when they're slot together, this is what you can do. Well, I'll show you what I've done so far. The simplest thing is just that. There's slits in the base, and then slots here, and you can then start constructing, well, a little close housing estate close of cards with 4 or 5 houses of them, and you can change the card too for black and red. So that's something I've never actually played with. I have to say, it's something I'm not having a go at because I like houses of cards and things. But it's something you can, at the same time, put these aside, and have an ordinary game of bridge or canasta or something like that with them. So there's more cards to come, but I do love unusual cards, and that's what these are.